Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And special guest, Demetrius.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. Plenty to talk about this week. Checked out No Science in Tech or Stupid Tech or Question of the Week, just because there's a lot to get through. But Question of the Week will be back next week as long as the amount of news isn't insane. But of course, lightning round, movie and TV news is back, and What the Fuck is back, and trailers, of course. So let's jump right into it. There is a review that Carrie and I did for Toy Story 4 that you can check out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Nerdpocalypse. Also in the Coming Distractions podcast feed. So check that out. There's like the Men in Black International review and Shaft are the most recent ones. So check those out in those places.
Did Carrie cry?
Yes, that was my final question during the review was, did you cry? And I said, yeah, you did. Good. Then it's a Toy Story movie, and they did it right. Because you're supposed to. You're supposed to be like, oh, this is great, this is cute, it was funny. And then you're supposed to cry. Because for some reason, that is what the emotions they want to elicit.
I still haven't seen Toy Story 3.
I haven't either. I've only seen the first two, which I like those movies.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, I haven't seen the third
because we've grown out of them.
Yeah, but she told me the ending for Toy Story 4. And now I really want to see it. Like, I'll tell you later. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. All right. So I checked out this week. I saw Vice. I finally got a chance to see Vice. This is the Dick Cheney movie, directed by Adam McKay, who did The Big Short, which I'm a huge fan of. I thought Vice was good, not great, not as good as The Big Short. Mostly because I didn't think it had enough of a message. I didn't mind the Dick Cheney story. I thought Christian Bale was really good. Very, very impressive. By the way, if you want to watch this is on Hulu now. But I wasn't really like super excited as I'm watching the movie. I wasn't like really into it until he sort of fully realizes the Dick Cheney we know. Because it starts with him like failing out of college and stuff like that. And that backstory was interesting, but it wasn't as interesting as him just being the Darth Vader analog that he has become. But once it kind of got to that, it got very good. And there's some good, there's some pretty good performances. Steve Carell as Don Rumsfeld. Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush was really good. I thought Colin Powell being played by Tyler Perry was fine. Like I didn't hate it, but I wasn't blown away by it.
I mean, it felt like stunt casting, and
the movie is largely stunt casting.
Yeah. So Sam Rockwell's performance was great, but it was Sam Rockwell doing a Bush impression to me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's very difficult, right? Because you have like this all-star lineup, right? But when you have character actors, actors that can really delve deep into a character, like Christian Bale and like Steve Carell.
Steve Carell is one of the craziest stories, by the way. Like,
yeah, man. Well,
as an actor,
he's like the new Tom Hanks, man.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that comparison.
And he's when you're standing opposite those two, when hey, you gonna be my Vash, and then you have Christian Bale, who literally is Dick Cheney.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's weird, yo. It's weird.
Yeah.
So
I will say this: Christian Bale was excellent, but Amy Adams as Lynn Cheney was fucking really good.
Yeah,
she was great. But yeah, it was very, very good. I liked it. But again, it didn't feel like it didn't have the gravitas I thought The Big Short has. And you and I talked about this offline. Like, I have seen The Big Short like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't watch this again. I don't think.
No.
Like, my wife probably wants to see this at some point. I would rewatch it with her, but never of like, ooh, let's watch Vice again. Like, no. But The Big Short, even though it's about such a serious and heavy topic as the financial collapse, I really enjoy that movie. It's
The Big Short talks about things that are just dense and boring. But it made it not boring. And here you have this thing that is super like intellectually sexy, like politics.
Right.
And it's not.
It doesn't have that edge.
It doesn't have the edge to it. So
and it should have. It's good, but I wouldn't say great. I don't think wasn't it nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, it was nominated for
No, it did not deserve it. It did not deserve to be nominated at all. Bale's performance, 100%, he deserved to be there. Yeah. That dude became Dick Cheney. It's crazy. And like I said to you offline, I would have liked to see he breaks the fourth wall and talks directly to the camera in the very, very end of the movie. That should have been a thing more often in the film. Like, it would have been a cooler thing, because like that ending speech that he gives, it was fucking intense. I was like, this guy's making a lot of good points, maybe. But then my brain snapped out of it, and I was like, this guy is a horrible human being. But Bale was so convincing, like, because he's one of the best actors alive, period, or like of this generation of actors. So lightning round this week.
Did you watch anything?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about?
Let's see. I did see Men in Black.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
It was okay. You know what I mean? It was nothing special beyond Men in Black. It was better than Men in Black 2. Kind of on the same level as Men in Black 3.
I didn't bother after 2. I was just
yeah.
I only saw
there was a lot of Marvel references in it. You know, between the hammer and then, her being called the queen, and he was like, yeah, that's the queen now, type stuff. I do enjoy Chris Hemsworth. He's fun,
He's got good comedic timing.
Right, but then I'm starting to see that if he's overexposed, then he doesn't do anything else. He's not. I haven't seen him in Ghostbusters, but I think if he's anything like he is, if he's Thor, he was Thor here. He was Thor in Ragnarok here.
Interesting.
But see, now we've seen him cry in Infinity War.
I think he's got. I think he has some
range.
Yeah, I think he has some range. But I do think he's weirdly like. I think he would do really well doing action comedies. I think he would do really well in that genre. Yeah. But you run the risk of being typecast because there's not a lot of those these days.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Dave Bautista's being kind of typecast like that now.
Man, I saw a trailer for Bautista and I was like, that's not, because he's some sort of a hitman or something or another.
Stuber.
Yeah.
Now that's the one. He's a cop. There's another one where he's a hitman with like a kid, but they look like the same movie. Yeah. Stuber's the one. He's a cop, which to me looks pretty funny only because Johnny's in it. Like, I like him a lot. I think they will play off each other well, but I think Dave Bautista's getting likely typecast as that like tough guy, but has good comedic timing too.
Yeah, I as far as anything else, I really have just been focusing on Destiny. If I on any, because it's Iron Banner and not trying to get that power level up. But yeah, there's that, and then I'm supposed to be starting Jessica Jones season 3, but I'm
not sure if I'm going to watch it.
I'm seeing too much stuff about how they're already hating on the whole superhero like costume stuff because her friend Hellcat, like they're shitting on that already, and within like 2 episodes. But she's got the money to do it, to actually get like a fitted suit, get something ordered. I mean, hell, cosplay. Right. You can do it, especially if you got the abilities and skill to do so. I mean, but
the funny thing is I liked season 2 more than I liked season 1, but the fact that it's all canceled makes me really not interested.
I don't care anymore.
I didn't finish Punisher season 2.
I didn't start Punisher.
I saw like 2 episodes, and I was just like, all right, what's the point?
Yeah, like once they were like, all right, we're canceling everything, I was like, yeah, me too. Like, consider it canceled. So, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to get interested to see where it goes because it's not going anywhere. All right, so make sure you go to the nerdpocalypse.com/Amazon. Use that link whenever you buy anything on Amazon that you want the government to spy on you with. We get a little bit of a payback. You don't pay anything extra, and it really helps out the show. Don't buy Ring cameras. Anyway, lightning round this week, Micah.
Although Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings series is obviously the bigger fish, the streaming service does have another fantasy series in development, an adaptation of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. It was announced that Rosamund Pike, you would know her from Die Another Day and Gone Girl.
How dare you? From Gone Girl. Don't do that to that woman's career. She don't even want you to think about Die Another Day. She was a psycho in Gone Girl. She was great.
She will be leading the Wheel of Time as Moiraine. It takes place in a sprawling, epic world where magic exists, and only certain women are allowed to access it.
So the incels are already really pissed off.
I want to be a woman. I mean, have magic. Yes.
Both of these things.
The story follows Moiraine, a member of the incredibly powerful all-female organization called the Aes Sedai, as she arrives in the small town of Two Rivers. There she embarks on a dangerous world-spanning journey with 5 young men and women, one of whom is prophesied to be the Dragon Reborn, who will either save or destroy humanity. I mean, it sounds like, the same generic, like, high fantasy stuff, but I like Rosamund Pike as an actress. If someone tells me that this series is good, I will believe you.
A lot of people seem to like this series. I've never read it.
I don't like high fantasy.
Really?
I'm not a huge high fantasy guy.
No, that's right. You're a military.
I'm a military sci-fi guy.
Yeah, that's
Give me a fucking military space opera, some Jack Campbell shit.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Because the books you read are trash.
Oh yeah,
they're all garbage.
And like shit, like Snow Crash, right? Where it's just like
God,
in the future, like some dirty ass future where people are hacking and all that. Yeah, like give me shit like.
Yo, you are never going to let go of that controller once you put in Cyberpunk 2077.
Nah, especially if I can make my own character.
Like, here's the thing. Me either. Yeah, I'm still buying that game. For the same reason. But yeah, look, I like high fantasy. I like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. High fantasy as a television show can be daunting because it generally requires really big, expansive ideas like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, which is why Amazon is spending so much money on that. It will be interesting to see.
Why would they have 2 of them?
That is a good question. I don't know.
It's not counter programming,
right? I mean, yeah, that's actually a good question. Why would you do both of them?
And you got the big fish. You got the high fantasy of high fantasy, Lord of the Rings.
Look, maybe Wheel of Time was like mad cheap to buy.
Maybe you think about it like this. Whereas you got CBS All Access, they've got one Star Trek show. Now they're trying to do 2 more.
2 more, yeah, that's true.
So the CW, they got one superhero show.
Let's do all of them.
They got 8 of them now. You know what I mean? Not
right.
8, but still.
Make a good point.
There's that. As far as I think high fantasy can be done in an expansive television series. Yeah. It's just our expectations for them require money nowadays. Because back in the day, we were fine with just Willow or Legend or Labyrinth. You know
you could pull those things off.
Stuff like that was cool. In animated form, we had Mighty Max, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that had a lot of different concepts that were presented very well, and it took its time. There was nothing rushed. I think in today's society, we have a shorter attention span.
100% true.
I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has capitalized on that with the breaking up of the season type deal. Instead of 23 episodes where you get the whole thing, where you get like the filler shit. They broke it down to like 13 or 8, 9, and 13 or something like that. Yeah. This can be done, especially, but do we have any indication of whether or not it's going to be a release all at once? Or is it going to be week to week?
No, Amazon, I'm trying to think of Amazon shows. Amazon most times will do all at once. Because I think they realize, like, you really, in this world, you really can't do week to week if you're competing against Netflix. It's really hard. And that's actually, now that I think about that, that's kind of funny. Netflix doesn't have a big high fantasy show.
They are about to get one.
What is that?
The Witcher.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah, okay. That's a good card to have in your back pocket. Yeah. Look, I'm all for it. I will definitely watch The Witcher. If this is good, I will watch this. I mean, quiet as it's kept, Amazon's biggest problem with their series is just that their website has no clean way to fucking watch it. Yeah, that's their biggest issue.
They need to like get a new marketing team and just like, because when you go to when you think Amazon, you don't think Amazon Video. You just don't.
No, you don't. No.
Like, how many people have Prime and don't know that they have access to Amazon Video?
Literally, I would guess 80% of people, right?
That UI is just as bad as PlayStation's.
Yeah, look, it is. Yo.
It is. Now, I will say this. What they should do, cool, I'm glad. Like, the problem is they probably wouldn't do this just because the best part about Amazon is you go to Amazon and you just get lost in Amazon and you end up just buying shit and doing all renting and you just fall down that rabbit hole, which is why it's designed the way it is. What would be smart though is to have a site separate that's called Amazon Prime Video or whatever the fuck URL you want to use. Yeah. And you go there and it's a super clean Netflix style UI and you could just watch stuff, right? Like I watch everything that I watch on Amazon via Roku. So it technically is like that. But if you're watching it online on your computer, it's not like that. Like I'll sit and watch the show maybe on my lunch break, but it's a pain in the ass. You're like, fucking, you got to search, and it's like, oh, that's the DVD for the last season. That's not the streaming one. Da da da. Like, it's a pain in the ass. Now they have a little section, a little blurb that says it, but if you don't know to look there, it's no. Like Netflix makes it super easy. Go to the website, boom, you're in the UI, and it's just done.
Yeah.
So, see, as far as their phone apps, they do have a separate
they
video
do.
app. Yeah.
Right. And that's smart.
And it's clean.
And it's clean, right? That's what you need. But they need to figure out a way to revamp that. If they can do that, I think that would actually help them because they've got some good shows. Like Marvelous Miss Maisel is fucking great.
Yeah.
They got the Philip K. Dick shows. Like, yeah, they've got some good stuff.
So there you go. Next up, breaking news. Well, not really breaking. This came out yesterday. Avengers Endgame is officially getting re-released with new footage. Are you going back?
Yes.
But see, I think from what I understand,
like the whore that I am.
The new
Yes.
footage is nothing but
It's after credit stuff.
it's after credit stuff and some behind the scenes stuff.
Don't care.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
It's essentially what's going to be on the DVD or whatever.
Look, here's the thing.
Beat Avatar.
Yeah. That's why they're doing it, dude. But that's why they're doing it, of course. But look, the smart money is they're going to put this out. They'll probably get a little bit of a spike. It won't be crazy. But guess what? They're going to keep that movie right in theaters right until Spider-Man comes out. Because guess what? Go see Endgame. Remember all the greatness in Endgame. And then take your ass right over to see Spider-Man right next. And then they're going to beat Avatar. Look, the movie's only been out 10 weeks. Doesn't it feel like it's been out fucking forever? It's been 10 weeks.
It don't feel like it's been out forever.
See, to me, it does. It feels so much longer than that.
When did it come out? End April?
April 28th, April 27th, or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's been out for 10 weeks. Avatar, meanwhile, was in theaters like 37 weeks.
Avatar cheated, yo. Avatar is like the Brett Favre of movies and shit.
No, but
it's got all those stats because it's been there forever.
No, but the thing is,
not because it's good.
Well, no, obviously that's not true, or that part's true. But the thing is, I did some more research. Avatar didn't do a like we've talked about the re-release, and it did do one, but it didn't do a re-release until after being in theaters for 33 weeks straight.
Yeah. I remember that. Like, it came out like early in the year and then took a break and then came out around like
August or something.
Something. I thought it was later than that.
Yeah, it's something like that. But so the idea that, I mean, movies don't stay in the theater that long anymore. They don't keep movies in theaters for 33 weeks. Like, for fucking what?
Too much other stuff coming out.
Right, yeah. The theaters are too cramped. So in order for Avengers to get more time, they basically just need to give people a reason to go, right? They need to amp those numbers up, and theaters are gonna be like, yo, whoa, we made an extra like $1 million or a couple $100,000 out of this. No, keep it, right? So they can do that, spike it 2 more weeks because Spider-Man comes out July
2nd.
Well, what was today?
Yeah.
Today is the 20th?
Yeah.
They're going to be just fine. They're going to beat that. The second Spider-Man comes out is going to beat it. Because it'll increase people wanting to see. All they have to do is do one fucking ad. Go see Endgame one more time and then see Spider-Man. And people are going to be like, yes, Kevin Feige, I'll do it. Whatever you say. And then they will go and then it'll beat it. And then immediately they'll be like, and now it can come out of theaters. We're fine. Thanks. Thanks for seeing our movies. They just want to beat it. And I get it. Because I wanted to beat fucking Avatar too. Next up. Read it the way I wrote it.
The Rock is trying to slide his big ass into the MCU.
Thank you. I don't do this work for nothing.
The MTV Movie Awards took place this past weekend, and Avengers Endgame took home the prize for Best Movie. Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, also won this year's Generation Icon Award. I don't know what that is, but congratulations to him. While at the event, Endgame co-director Anthony Russo was asked who The Rock should play in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the director had an interesting response. This is the most active,
electrifying.
This is the most like passively aggressive way of saying nobody that I've ever heard before, right? He says, quote, "The superhero that I would like The Rock to play is The Rock. He is the best version of him." You know what that says to me?
Yeah.
That says, I don't want you to play nobody in the MCU. Go fuck yourself. I want you to play yourself in a comic book movie. No.
Yeah, you know what? I actually agree with him. The Rock should play himself. Just as a person in that world, he's just The Rock.
He's just walking around.
Yeah, that's fine. He's like, damn, these guys are stronger than me. Like, yeah, that's right. Like, that's it. Like, that would be hilarious to me. Yeah, you're welcome to the MCU. You're a fucking nobody. If he's going to play an actual hero or villain, we will go to Micah last, because we don't know who you said, and we were talking about this offline. I say The Thing is a good choice, because then I don't have to see The Rock's face, which is great. But he's a big fucking brute.
He would want to see his face. Everything from the neck down would want to be Rock's, but no, you would want to.
It would just be his regular head.
It would be just his big ass head, and then everything else is just Rock, man.
His goal is to be an actual human Rock. Who do you think?
Well, that's not comic accurate, but
yeah, who cares?
It doesn't matter.
I've seen people say the Mole Man.
The Thing isn't.
Like they don't even know what they don't even care what the Mole Man looks like.
Right.
Like he's
the Mole Man is Paul Giamatti. That's the Mole Man.
Arguably.
All right.
Danny DeVito.
I would my first thing would say my first character would probably be Sentry. You know, he's shown an ability to have a little bit of range. So
he does.
With the Sentry being as, you know, his own dichotomy, you know, his own crazy ass, you know, self. That would be fun to watch. But then,
do you want him to wear the golden wig, or you just saying bald head? You know what? I think let me translate golden wig. That would be horrible.
Then, you know, just as far as like, well, they've already done Absorbing Man on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he exists.
But I'm saying that, you know, Creel could have been a since they don't even acknowledge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the show.
But yeah, he still exists in the universe.
But yeah, there's that. But if I was to go further into the MCU, probably near the end of Phase 4, where they would probably introduce the X-Men, I would have him be the newer version of the Terminator as Nimrod.
Okay, I can see that.
Someone who doesn't need to have a whole lot of lines, but then be menacing as fuck. But then, you know, the whole shape-changing thing, you know, something that would lean more towards him being an unstoppable force that they had to deal with from the future. Okay. You know, if he can't be the Terminator, let him be a Sentinel.
Okay, all right, Micah.
Guys, it is painfully obvious who The Rock should be.
By the way, I have another suggestion. I'm just going to leave this up just in case it's the same person. I will turn my laptop on.
The Rock has played a gay person before.
Yes, he has.
And he's played Hercules before. Hercules!
Yeah, okay, that's pretty good.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
He could be Hercules.
Yeah, he could be.
He could be. Especially the way Hercules is a fucking dude, bro, yo.
Yo, he is. So,
like, you can't see The Rock as that?
No, it's not that I can't see it, but then I would say Henry Cavill, but then you've already said that Henry Cavill would be a good Captain Britain because he's British.
Yeah, he would be.
You know, so I could see that, but fucking John Cena. What the dude bro thing?
Okay, one. I feel like Hercules has to be tall. Like and The Rock is like a pretty like decently tall. He's like 6'1", right?
He's like 6. I think he's billed at 6'5", so he's probably 6'3".
Right. It's always like
because stupid wrestling.
Okay, so that's not bad. I like that suggestion. Actually, it's really good. In my heart of hearts, if I had to pick an actor who would be a perfect Hercules is Joe Manganiello. Like he like dude, he looks like, he fucking looks like a character,
he actually
right?
kind of looks like
yeah, it's kind of crazy. But obviously, he's too busy playing Deathstroke. Oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I'm glad you enjoyed wearing the costume. It's not ever gonna happen.
Yeah, you talking about flowing locks, Hercules, and nothing but that hair. You put him in that head. The head harness,
you
know, little man,
like
he can do against Thor. Come on,
but that's by the way. I'm telling you, Thor 4 should absolutely be Hercules. Hercules should be involved in that, and just those two dude bros, like just having a good comedic action time. I think it'll be
they've
fun.
already set it up for us to want to see Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I think Thor should be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think that's what that should be.
Okay.
And then Thor 4 should be
okay.
that. So here's my other suggestion for The Rock. Gladiator.
All right, yeah. All right.
Look, he don't have to talk. He don't have to talk.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like that's not bad. It's not bad. Hey, look,
man,
he don't have to do a lot of talking. He comes pre-jacked.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Just give him a fucking mohawk, or don't. By the way, just make him blue. Fucking cares.
Gladiator was my favorite character out of that whole arc because he was about.
He's about business.
Bullshit.
Yeah, he's
you know
about
what I'm saying? Like he was like, "What are you doing?"
All right, yeah. I
can see it.
Given The Rock's personality, yeah, I could. Oh yeah.
I mean, he's just a space military guy.
Oh yeah.
He's just he's basically Blue Hobbs.
Yeah, Blue Hobbs.
Blue Hobbs.
All right.
But I like that idea. Like I think that's like because you could also play him. You could also play that character when he's introduced. You can have like obviously it would be a while before he would be introduced. Maybe, but like you could have him as not a villain, but certainly an antagonist until they kind of come around and realize who he is, right? Or till he realizes, oh, these are the good guys, the bad guys. So you could have him go up against Thor. You could have him go up against like these bigger characters. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Gladiator would manhandle these motherfuckers. You know, like you don't understand that dude is the man. You know. All right. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm stupid.
I'm fine with that.
I should have thought about that one.
Yeah. I was like, who's a super jack space guy? Right, Gladiator. This is easy. Yeah. God. Here's the thing, though. I don't really need The Rock in the MCU.
No,
I don't. You made your bed. Now you're getting fucked in it at DC. Okay? We told you not to go over there. But you did it anyway. So, yeah, look, if they're going to bring him into the MCU, what I don't want him to do is I don't want him to fuck up a good franchise or anything like that by making him the big focus. I think his ego is too big.
And that's what's going to happen, right?
But that's why you got to give him something like Gladiator. You have to give him something like Gladiator where he gets to show off and be a badass. And look, he's busy as fuck too. Like, they can't, oh, sorry, we got to stop doing our movies. Like, if they give you some big solo movie, like, you can't make a franchise out of him. Because as much as he's franchised Viagra, his schedule's way too crazy for him to be like, oh, I'll do 3 movies or whatever. Like, no. Just give him something where he can show up, kick ass, and then he gets to move on.
Did you see that Spider-Man Far From Home clip where...
No, I didn't. Please don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay.
We have so few days left. I've seen the last trailer a couple weeks ago, and I'm not watching anything else.
No, I'm not... The only thing I'm saying... Because you've seen it in the trailer.
Please don't spoil it. I will have to fight you, and I'm probably going to lose. All right? Please.
No. Because you've seen Mysterio fly. In the
very first trailer, yes.
In the trailer, they make Flight look amazing.
Oh yeah, well because they do it from the lower half, right? They
do it. So most people when you say lower half, I'm talking about like
it's under the legs. Right?
Yeah, it's under the legs. That's how they made. That's how they made Robert Downey Jr. fly. Is they put the harnesses on his shins. And he had to kind of balance himself because that's how you would, like if you're flying the problem with like flying is everyone's hooked by the harness, and everybody does the figure 4 leg pose, like they do in all them X-Men movies, trying to pretend like they're flying. Like, like especially if you're being propelled by your feet, like that's where you're gonna have to control. Right, that's where the wobble is.
From what I saw in the trailer for Mysterio, there's nothing around him when he's flying. He's flying like fucking Superman. Mm-hmm. Like he's just moving by his own, like his own telekinesis or some shit, right? Mm-hmm. And when you see him move, it looks so natural, bro. When he just comes into a scene, he's like, whoo. I was like, and then when you said something about like The Rock being like Gladiator, I just put it in my mind, that red cape. And then just
his big ass just gracefully showing up and shit.
There was no like jankiness with it. It was smooth as butter. Yeah. And I'm thinking, man, they talking about 1978. Make the people believe a man could fly. Yeah. Nah, nigga, that shit is now. Because I looked at that, I'm like, man, he looks amazing. Just floating.
Was he Jake Gyllenhaal? Or did he have
he had the globe on?
Okay, part of that is CGI, but it's really good.
It's still good because he was talking to.
And look, The Rock is blue. I mean, it makes it a little bit easy to the CGI disguise it. You know what I mean? Yeah, but
that was the best thing about the Marvel. I'm saying like as if it's a past tense thing, but as far as the practicality of everything,
they've gotten flight down, and it's weird that they've gotten flight down. Yet somehow Fox didn't call them, and be like, "Could you help?" Like they just didn't. They were like, "Nah, the fucking shitty harness." Like come on. They just never. I don't know why they never did that. It's strange.
I mean, even Man of Steel had pretty good flying in it.
They do. DC kind of got it too.
Yeah. When they were doing that camera behind him as he was punching Zod type shit. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah. No, that was inventive because no one else had done that.
And like as long as you have interesting shots.
Yeah,
the Matrix did that.
It's like right. So how the fuck did the Matrix do it in 1999? Right. And Fox still got people. Wee! It just looks.
It really looks bad. And when you see it done right, it really makes the other side look bad.
Yeah, man.
It really does. Well, those movies are dead. All right, next up,
the once rumored to be. Matthew Vaughn's Kingsman prequel gets an official title, The King's Man. What about the King's Woman?
Person. It might be kind of addressed
King's person.
The King's person.
Maybe they could get Mystique to come in and deliver that shitty line.
You excited for this?
I never saw The Kingsman 2.
I did.
That was fun.
It was. I liked the first one a little better.
Yeah, this was new.
But This series is interesting, and I'm curious if Brad would be willing to do this on Men with Golden Tongue, since it's technically a spy movie, but like more action comic, spy stuff, and Brad's not really into that stuff. You should have seen him go off on Avengers being re-released. It's like, oh, you people are sheep. Why are you doing this? You people are sheep.
Yeah, whatever.
I better not ever see anyone say anything about video game DLC if you spend 1 cent on this movie. Like,
Brad, I don't play video games.
All right. Like,
allow me to be a massive hypocrite. I don't play video games. Fuck out of here, bro.
But yeah, The King's Man. The film's star cast will feature Harris Dickinson as Conrad, Daniel Brühl as Felix somebody, Reese somebody as Grigory Rasputin, Gemma Arterton as Mata Hari. I can't read today. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Lee Unwin, Ralph Fiennes as the Duke of Oxford, Charles Dance as there's a lot of people in this movie.
Tom Hollander.
Who is Tom Hollander?
Not quite Spider-Man.
Aldi version of it.
This guy's the worst.
The Aldi version.
Oh, damn. That's a local cut too, because I don't think all these is everywhere. Oh, that's mean.
Spend that quarter to get that
Right, you gotta put down payment on a
parking spot
on a cart.
Right.
God damn. February 14th, 2020 is when The Kingsman comes out. As a collection of history's worst tyrants and criminal masterminds gather to plot a war to wipe out millions, one man must race against time to stop them. Discover the origins of the very first independent intelligence agency in The Kingsman, directed by Matthew Vaughn, coming to theaters February 2020.
All right, you know what? I haven't seen Kingsman Golden Circle. I'm going to watch it tonight. Because I'm home by myself and I'm gonna watch some garbage.
It's not bad.
No, I mean just like mindless garbage.
I mean, you're gonna want to pay attention to how some of the gadgets are deployed.
No, look, look. Here's
That's
the thing.
fun to me. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Pay attention to that shit.
Look. This is something crass, I'm sure. So wow, that Robin Hood movie's out. Yeah, I'll rent this. I'll rent it for $3 or $4. That's not bad. I like the first one a lot. I actually thought the first one was fun. All right, next up.
Why the Last Man adaptation finds a replacement showrunner.
This makes me so angry.
Animal Kingdom's Eliza Clark has been hired as the replacement showrunner on FX's Why the Last Man. Clark will reportedly also work as a writer and producer on the show, replacing the original co-showrunners Ada Mashaka, Kroll, and Michael Green, who left in April.
Why is this so hard to adapt? Why? Have you guys either one of you read Why the Last Man?
No, but I hear it's very, very, very good.
It's excellent. It's an excellent.
That's the guy with the little monkey wig.
Yeah, so it's a guy Yorick and his monkey companion Ampersand. It's a very good series. I think I have the whole thing in trades, but I believe someone lost. I let the former co-host of the show borrow it and we lost him. I think I might have gotten him back. I
So much disdain in your voice.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was like, I bought those. Those are mine. But it's really good. I think it's 10 trades. But it's basically about this. Something happens, and all of the male of every species dies, except for Yorick and Ampersand, who is a male monkey, and they're like the world is thrown into turmoil. And Yorick's mother, who is, I believe, the Secretary of Agriculture at the time, she becomes president because she's of all the people, she's the next in line to become president of the U.S. And the entire world is in shambles. So Yorick has to hide his identity because if they found out he was a guy, he would likely be killed. Right? Because there's a group, I can't remember the name of the group, but there's a group of women who have literally like cut off one of their breasts, and they're just like fucking warriors or whatever. It's an homage to, I forget the Greek story of the women who cut off their breasts so they could carry a bow.
They could be better archers.
Yeah. So they would have their bows and stuff like that, and their tit wouldn't get in the way.
Dedication.
Yeah, it's very dedicated. You don't have to. So like they would kill him and stuff like that. And so a lot of the world is mourning, obviously, because like they miss the people who were in their lives that died. And so he's trying to find out what happened. And it's very good. It's a very good series. And it's a globe-trotting series. It's very good, though.
Sounds like an incel's wet dream.
Dude, people gonna be mad. People gonna be big mad about this series. I can't believe FX put a show on where all the men die. This is exactly what those feminazis want. Like, actually, I mean, no, but I'll watch. But it really hinges on who's gonna play Yorick. It's really gonna hinge on that because Yorick obviously is the main character, and he's funny. And like, I don't know, he's a very, very good character. He's funny and witty, but he's also smart. And...
Is there someone you think should play him?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know if this person has been cast yet, but
no, I don't think so. I don't know who I would pick. But it needs to be somebody who has some smart aleck, good kind of comedic timing, while also coming off as very smart.
The boy from Umbrella Academy.
I didn't watch enough of that.
Okay.
The time traveling kid?
Number 5.
He's not old enough. No, I think Yorick is a little bit older. I think Yorick he's well into his 20s, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play up older. Okay.
Yeah, because he's like actually small. Like he's like kind of a small kid. But someone in that sort of smart alecky kind of way, like that would work. Like that personality would work. But maybe they might go younger. I don't know. There's some pretty serious kind of adult overtones to a lot of the things, especially in the end. So you kind of don't want a kid, but you definitely want somebody who's in their 20s. So we'll see. I don't have a particular name that I can think of. I'd like to reread that series. Hopefully the first 3 trades are upstairs. Not stolen. Anyway, next up.
Todd Phillips came out and said that the Joker movie is going to be rated R.
Good. It should be.
It should care.
I do. I'm super excited for this movie.
Don't care. Like it's unless it folds into Matt Reeves' Batman thing.
Don't know.
It's just. But then it's in set. Well, we don't know when it was set in there either.
No, the Matt Reeves movie is supposed to be set in the 90s, and Phillips is set in the 80s. So could work.
See, I don't know. I'm looking at DC, thinking like, what's your plan? Like, what's your 5-year plan, sir?
They don't. I don't think they have a
trying to get into a relationship with?
No, not yet.
Yes, I've been in a relationship with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would like
For
to know
11 years.
Right.
All right.
We started easy. Right.
Yeah, and then
look what we've got.
Now we're completely and totally invested. And you want me to look at your shit, and your streaming service is about to go away because it's getting folded into something else.
Maybe.
I mean, I did just see online that they have another set of episodes come out for the Young Justice Outsiders series. But the thing is, it's like you are throwing shit at the wall, hoping something sticks. Shazam is stuck.
They're finally going to move ahead with
another one. That's stuck. Wonder Woman's stuck.
Stuck. Yeah.
But see, what's killing me is that you're not going to be at Hall H this year. You have,
I don't know why they're not.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But then you hear Marvel's coming back.
Yeah, more on that later.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Look at that. Anyways, but I'm looking at DC, and they're doing away with stuff that seems to be successful, like Swamp Thing, and then it's because of money. But yet, fund it. If it works, you got the money. You're Warner Brothers, bro.
Yeah,
it's killing me that WB.
By the way, more on that later.
Think about it. You got Warner Brothers and DC have had this relationship since 1975. 1976, if not earlier.
Right.
They've had this, they've been symbiotic, and they have not been able to make anything work en masse until now, and it's kind of janky at best.
I mean, the huge irony of all of this is DC could have had a huge cinematic universe years ago.
Yeah, they've always Warner Brothers has always owned the DC properties.
Right.
Nobody thought to do it. They're making a Superman movie, and then 10 years later they make a Batman movie, and nobody ever thought to put the two together.
Except for fucking Will Smith in that other movie. They had the logo. It was right there. You should have done it. You fucked it up. Yeah, they could have done it fucking a decade ago. 2 decades ago. So yeah, look, Joker being rated R makes total sense. This movie to me looks very good. It looks on the same level as a Logan.
What do you think that means for Joker? Yeah, like you say on the same level as Logan in terms of what? In terms of the seriousness, in terms of the violence?
I think in terms of the seriousness. I don't look, maybe it gets pretty violent. Like in the end, like the third act where he's like just
DC's always been violent though.
Right, but there's a difference in like, hey, that was like kind of cartoonish violence in rated R, like we're going balls to the wall violence. In a comic book movie, look, Joker's a psychopath.
Batman kills people in the DC universe, so I don't see how that's cartoonish.
Right, but that's bloodless violence, right? Like, yeah, I mean, Batman definitely killed people in BVS. Like, he hit that dude with a car in his head. That dude died. But that was trauma we didn't see. Now, the Joker beating someone to death with perhaps his weapon of choice, a crowbar. It might show that shit. And it might be brutal and insane. But I think it's just going to be the topic of his mental instability and just the sort of fucked upness of that world they're building. I think it's going to require an R. My guess is he's going to just be a brutalized character until that third act, where then he will do either a series of horrible things to some people or just one really large moment of violence.
So is the scuttlebutt around this thing that this guy is being treated like trash by society and he lashes out, or is it that he has always been a lunatic and this is the trigger? I think
it's the latter.
Because I don't want to feel sympathy for the Joker. I really don't. Like that's the one character. Like everyone, wants their villains to be, 3-dimensional and you can see things from their point of view. And to an extent, that's fine. But sometimes you just need an asshole.
Yeah, you need a psycho.
And I want the Joker to just be an asshole.
Well, okay, so to push back on that a little bit, in the comics, they've tried to give him some level of dimension by saying, here he was this failing comedian.
Yeah.
His wife was, something happened to his wife, and then he gets forced into doing this crime and all this other stuff, and then he becomes a Joker. Those are all attempts on making him more 3-dimensional, and to me that doesn't really bother me, but I like the idea of him being crazy and then just slowly being pushed over the edge. And then just, at a certain point, he's just like, okay, I'm fucking broken. And then he just can't come back. And he just it's like, fuck it, I'm a clown and I'm a psychopath. And I like that idea because then I think it feeds more into the story of him being weirdly a victim of the city in which he terrorizes, which would make ultimate sense as to why he does what he does.
Have we seen this movie before?
I mean, arguably, you could say, it's clearly influenced by Taxi Driver. Like, it's clearly influenced by that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Todd Phillips has said that. So, yeah, and in Taxi Driver, this dude's fucking crazy, and then shit happens to him, and he's just slowly but surely driven all the way over the fucking edge, and until he's broken. So if it's the movie, if it's the comic book version of Taxi Driver, I'm 100% in. Now, can they pull that off? I don't know. It looks like they're doing a hell of a job, I would say. I was really impressed by that trailer.
It does look interesting, and when I first saw the trailer, I forgot the trailer engrossed me so much that I forgot that it's a DC movie. And until I heard someone say the word Gotham, then it jolted me back. Oh yeah, this is a DC film.
Yeah.
So
I think he's going for an Oscar for this. I think he is. But
man.
It's Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's always going for an Oscar, but it's just the kind of actor he is. We'll see. When does this come out? What's the release day?
I don't know. I closed the story.
Okay, but I think it's coming pretty soon. Like Joker release date October 4th. Yeah, that's Oscar time. That's Oscar season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's going for it. And you know what? If he wins for the Joker,
if the Joker is the movie that breaks the mold,
no, it wasn't. It hasn't. Are you talking about as far as acting ability or just being considered? Because Black Panther's still there.
I'm talking about.
That to me was a giveaway. No, but that was a gift. That was not for the actual
I'm talking about
acting.
Wins.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be nominated. Nah, yo, you want to win, yo. You want to win.
Yeah. If he won for that role, it would be pretty fucking amazing. Because I think Ledger. While he was amazing, I think a lot of it was because he died. Yo. That's not to say he wasn't excellent. I still think he's the best on-screen Joker we've seen. But But
Cesar
if he,
Romero, sir.
that dude didn't even want to. He didn't even want to cut the
shave,
mustache.
yo.
Right? He's like, nah. He was like, paint over this shit. That's like me dressing as the Joker and just not shaving. Like, nah, just paint over it. Like how does the Joker have a goatee? I said paint over it, nigga.
And like
Just tape it down.
and like it's obvious your hair is green. Like you didn't even want to paint your mustache green to like keep it, you know.
He was like, nah.
Nah, yo. Nah. That's
He
too
was like,
much.
he was like, that would have fucked up the look. That would have been crazy. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do with this. I just am. I'm incredibly interested to see. And it's only a $55 million budget. So even if, I mean, look, it's gonna make that money. It's a Joker movie. It's gonna make the money. But it looks interesting. I think you need the R rating. I really do. But we'll see. Here's a log line for it. Failed comedian Arthur Fleck encounters violent thugs while wandering the streets of Gotham City, dressed as a clown. Disregarded by society, Fleck begins a slow descent into madness as he transforms into the criminal mastermind known as the Joker.
Okay.
So there you go.
Last question about this. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But the mystique of the Joker and not knowing where the fuck he came from and, you know, what his motivations are is just the fact that he is chaos. You know, that's what's drawn everybody to him over these last,
Right.
80 years or whatever, do you think after this movie, he will not be as interesting as a character because we will have an idea as to who he truly is and what the real background, as opposed to fall into a vat of chemicals like Jack Nicholson did?
I mean, I can kind of forget it. Because, like we were talking about earlier, the Killing Joke, like that is the unofficial
story,
story of how he became to be. Mm-hmm. Like even Alan Moore doesn't like it, and he wrote the damn thing.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I was in my basement drinking human blood. Like, relax. So,
that's kind of the unofficial story, but I can kind of forget that, and I'm kind of. I see what you're saying, because that's part of kind of what I like about him is just that he's a fucking asshole and nobody knows, right? Like, that's what I liked about the Heath Ledger Joker is like, oh, you want to know how I got these scars? Yeah, my dad was abusive. Like, psych, my mom was abusive. Psych, I gave them to myself. Psych, my dog did it. Psych, like, what the fuck, yo? What are you?
Yeah.
I don't know what you are, and that's scary. So, but that's my thing. Like I said before, I don't want to sympathize with the Joker. I just want to be a dick.
Well, the question is, like, to your question, I don't think it makes him less interesting if his move into the Joker is so fucking profound that, like, you literally are watching the movie, you're like, wow, this poor son of a bitch, and then he becomes a Joker, and you're like, yo, this dude is so fucking demented, it just makes you fucking just turn off to that rest of that shit. Because there are characters like that, right? It's like, if you watch Taxi Driver, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, right? You should. Like, that, it's actually a perfect case for, like, whether or not this could work, right? Because, again, it's clear that it's taking liberties with that, okay. Right? You kind of go, oh, this guy's life, man, it's kind of fucked up, and like there's a lot of weirdness going on, like this is fucked up. But then when that shift happens, where he just kind of fucking fully breaks, you're like, this nigga's insane. Like, you've forgotten all of the other shit that you're like, yo, it was sympathetic nothing. This guy's a lunatic. And you're hard focused on the craziness that is enveloped that character, because that performance is so fucking good. It literally makes you just forget the first act.
Okay.
So that's the question. Is that what this is going to be? If it can pull that off, and that's a hard thing to do. If he can do that, then it can work.
Because you essentially are describing the opposite end of the spectrum to what Killmonger was. Because everybody could see and reason, I mean, and even Magneto, you can understand why.
Yes.
And even agree to their perspective.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting here saying that this character is still nothing but straight chaos, then essentially the Joker is preserved, even if we know his identity and his background.
Right, because like essentially Arthur Fleck and the Joker should feel like completely different people by the end of that movie. Like, it shouldn't even be Arthur Fleck becomes the Joker. I know the logline says that just for you to understand it, but in my mind, the best way to portray this character is Arthur Fleck is the character that you meet. He dies at a certain point. When he goes crazy, it's not that he really goes crazy. It is that he literally dies as a person, and the person who is born out of him is a completely different person. That's how you can go, oh, poor Arthur, man, and he died. Oh shit, who is that psychopath over there? Holy shit, that's the Joker. And it's like, Arthur Fleck is dead. He's just dead. And if they can pull that off of Fleck dying in, technically dying in this movie, because that's how the Joker is, right? When he falls into the vat of chemicals, that character that he was died in that moment. That's why the chemicals make sense, right? Because it is literally a visual of like, most people would die in that situation, right? He dies, and what emerges out of the chemicals literally is a different person. So if they can pull something like that off, sure. Okay. So we'll see. I mean, we don't know if the chemical thing happens or not. We have no fucking idea. Like, we just see...
I don't think it will. I don't think it will either. I think it's just going to flip.
Yeah. But, yeah, we have no idea what happens. So, we'll see. All right. Last but not least, Micah.
Looks like Marvel Studios is actively on the hunt for actors to join their upcoming martial arts movie, Shang-Chi. The studio is reportedly going to meetings with Donnie Yen and Ludi Lin to take on roles in the movie.
Donnie Yen's too old.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing... I can't imagine Donnie Yen is being considered for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Donnie Yen is 55. Like, he...
It's not like he couldn't do it.
And Ludi Lin's a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
He's also a character in Striking Vipers.
We're not going to talk about that.
I think there should be a scene with him and Falcon being like, you look familiar. Nah, yeah, mind your business. Like, no, mind your business, dog. Which would be hilarious.
That guy's 31. Ludi Lin. I thought he was like in his 20s.
The Asian.
Yo, yeah, man.
That doesn't make any sense.
Fucking yellow don't mellow, man.
It don't. No, you guys got a superpower. Yeah, I think Ludi Lin is probably the guy, right? Like, he's got some martial arts training for Power Rangers.
Yeah.
He's seemingly a good enough actor.
And see, and then, what's the guy's name? Brian T.
I don't know who he is.
He's on Chicago Med, and also he was...
How do you spell his last name?
T-E-E.
Okay. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know him.
Yeah, he's still... I mean, he might
he's in his 40s.
Yeah, but he's still jacked.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Here's the only problem.
Who was that guy who was the first Fast and Furious?
That dude, he's not a good actor.
True.
Rick Yoon?
The fact that you were able to pull that at your ass.
I used to be a Rick Yoon fan, man. And then he got really old. And then he got diamonds in his face in that James Bond movie.
Yeah, that was
I was like, ooh, this is bad for you.
Here's the problem with the dude from Chicago Medical or whatever. He's Japanese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope Marvel is not.
No. Ludi Lin is Chinese.
Okay.
And I think that's not worth fucking that up.
No.
No,
it really isn't.
No, like, look, people were like, "Oh, here's an idea for someone for Miss Marvel." I was like, "That person is Indian. You can't just put an Indian person in a Pakistani role." Yeah, like, it's going to be a problem. Like, it's going to be a problem. You have to make sure that that's correct.
Y'all haven't watched One Punch Man, do y'all?
No, I did see something about
the black character.
Yeah,
the black luster.
Yeah, black luster. Yeah.
I saw the episode today. I was like, ooh,
with his big ass beady eyes and his pink lips.
Yeah,
and shit.
he was definitely a Mr. Popo. But they made his skin diamond hard. And he was bald. I was like, oh, they made himself a Luke Cage.
He's a Luke Cage character.
An alien was trying to drill into his body so that he could take over the body. He flexed him like, get off me, bitch. And
God damn it, Japan. But Ludi Lin is young, right? He's 31.
Looks 21.
He still looks 21. So he can be around for a while. Look, I'm calling right now. This movie's going to make $1 billion. 100%. He's going to make $1 billion. Black Panther did. Captain Marvel did. The movie of a Chinese superhero that will definitely do well in China will make $1 billion.
So special interests are where money's at. No.
Dude, they would be crazy. They'd be crazy not to do this movie.
So then what's the what's the other Marvel movie that's supposed to have an LGBT
The Eternals.
The Eternals.
That also is going to make $1 billion.
I don't know.
I bet D from Three Black Geeks $25 that he says that it won't make more than $725 million. Yo, just give me my money now, yo. Just give me my money now. Don't think I haven't forgotten, nigga. I'm coming for you. Nah, yo. It is because people want to see themselves. They want to see themselves. Look. You want to make sure the Eternals makes $1 billion? Release it on Pride Month.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you keep it. Oh, it ain't gonna make $700 million. All right. Okay. All right. Like I feel like y'all just not paying attention to shit.
And they released Captain Marvel on Women's Day.
That's right. Yeah. Come on, yo.
Day.
Come on, yo. They're not fools, man. They know what they're doing. And Black Panther got released in Black History Month. Come on, yo. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. Guess what? If we get a Captain Britain is gonna be on fucking Bastille Day or some other shit.
What's the Chinese New Year? What day is that on?
Oh shit! Yeah, when is Chinese New Year?
Oh.
And then let's match it up with the release dates from Marvel.
Saturday, Chinese New Year in 2020 is January 25th. So just assume. Oh, well, I'm sorry. In 2021, it will be. Friday, February 12th. Oh, Friday! How fucking convenient! Boom! There you go. Friday, February 12th will likely be the release date for Shang-Chi, opening in China.
Let's see the Marvel dates.
That would be, if it's fucking February, that would be hilarious. Yeah, and that's the year of the ox. Oh shit, son. You don't know about that? I don't either, but I hear it's cool.
I think I was born in the year of the monkey.
Dodo?
No, the monkey, which is just as bad.
Yeah, I think it is, because I think, is you're 80 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were both.
Yo, would you say the Chinese New Year was?
February 12th.
2021?
Yeah. What did I say? Boom! Fucking say. There you go. There's your Shang-Chi opening. There it is.
Yo,
what are the other dates? What are the other dates?
May 1, 2020.
All right, so that's just a general movie.
Okay. November 6, 2020.
November 6th?
November 6th. What is there a Thanksgiving themed hero?
Turkey Man. November 6th, holidays. That's national. That's national. Wait, no, that's just a website. No, it's just National Nachos Day. Mexican hero. Okay.
May 7th, 2021.
May 7th. That feels like just a regular. That's probably a sequel. Yeah, I think it's just yeah. Any of the Mays are probably just.
Then I see November 5th, 2021.
Is there June?
No, but there is a February 18th, 2022. That's your Black Panther.
Yeah, probably. There's no June?
No. They got May 6th, 2022 and July 29th, 2022.
I bet the Eternals date moves to June. I bet because they're still early, but I bet they move that to June. That's hilarious that February 12th is one of the days. So the Shang-Chi is 100% coming out on the Chinese New Year.
You heard it here
Kevin
first.
Feige's a bad nigga. You're a smart dude, man.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, that's right. That's fucking hilarious. All right, movie and TV news. Wow.
That shit is funny, man.
I don't ever talk about that dude like he don't know what he's doing. Like, get the fuck out of here. Movie and TV news this week. Robert Downey Jr. was at an event where what was this event? It was a film at the Film Center where he was giving a speech honoring Jon Favreau as a director, and the person who introduced him was Eve Ewing, who is the current writer of the Ironheart comics for Marvel. While up on stage, after she introduced Downey, he came up and he was like, no big deal, but Ironheart should definitely be in the MCU. And of course, she left the stage, immediately went to Twitter and was like, yo, hear that? Write that shit down. Robert Downey Jr. said Ironheart should be in the MCU. Which is very cool. I like that. I like that idea. And look, Robert Downey Jr. with his sheer fucking star power could probably make that happen.
Yeah.
And make people very interested to do that. One, she's a kid hero. She's 15 years old. they don't have an iron suited character right now. I mean, plenty of people are like, well, there's Spider-Man. But Spider-Man he's not going to be the Tony Stark replacement in that regard. He will be the Tony Stark replacement as the crux of the universe. I can see that, but not necessarily the tech,
the guy flying around in the suit.
Yeah, like that's not going to be his character. So
they also don't have a black woman. Now, I know they got X-Men coming, but nobody knows when the hell X-Men is going to get here.
That's at least 5 years from now. At least.
I'm sick and tired of Storm being the token. Like that, to the point where
they need another one.
Yeah. Right, and also, like
that's why I jumped to Nimrod. Like, let's take some Bishop or some Shard, shit in there.
But like, I also need people to realize that Storm is one of the characters on a team. Like, she's not a solo character, right? Which is the difference between her and Ironheart. Like,
sir, she is the leader.
She is a leader on the team
of the gold team. Yes,
that's true, but everything that we know about Storm is very much connected to the X-Men. It just is. And that's not a negative. It's just how her character is created. I mean, Cyclops is not a solo character. I don't need a Cyclops solo movie. Like, I don't. I need Cyclops to be a part of the team that he's most known for. So you do need, I agree, you need a black woman, or in this case, a black young girl, but you need her to be her own character. And I think Ironheart's a good choice. I like that. I like that a lot. And again, I've been saying this for years. You need more kid heroes. You need Peter to be standing next to his contemporaries. So if you got
for him he'll be the leader of them, though.
Yeah, right, and that's fine. That's fine. So if you got Ironheart, Sam Alexander, Amadeus Cho, Miss Marvel, and Spider-Man. That's pretty fucking good, dude. And then you've got your adult tier characters, right? Thor, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. Like, you've
Strange.
Strange, right? You've got all of the, like, and you can have a 2-tiered system. Fantastic Four will be older, but Johnny will weirdly be able to go between both, right? When he's on his team, but he's also a younger hero because he should be the age of Peter Parker because they should be friends. Yeah, like, these are things that need to happen. So yeah, I'm fine with this.
No, that was younger. I thought, wasn't Sue and Johnny twins?
No.
Sue's older.
Okay. They also just released, I mean, this is just outside of the docket, but they released the release date and the synopsis of Top Gun 2.
What's the release date? Is that also on the Chinese New
Year? June 26, 2020.
Yeah, that makes sense. Pride Month.
Can't catch me, gay thoughts.
I mean, there is the volleyball scene that they probably could have.
That's a pretty gay scene. It's pretty gay. I love Top Gun, but that scene is gay as shit, and that's fine. It's okay. That volleyball game is so gay that Billy Porter should be calling it points by points, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm cool with this. Bring Ironheart in. Jeez. And also, she's a genius. So I need her and Shuri to fucking chat it up too. That would be dope.
Ooh, what if? No, they could. No, yeah. Because what if Shuri comes over, to America several times or whatever, and just happens to be, grooming somebody who, could help her out with a certain situation where there's an underground earthquake in the ocean. I'm like, oh yeah, well that sounds like this type of thing. And we need to talk about Namor.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, look, here's the thing. At the end of Black Panther, Shuri goes to the U.S. and she built that school to help kids and learn technology. Riri is right there, right? Like, she's supposed to be 15. She could be one of these kids. She leaves whatever, situation that is. Goes to MIT because she's a fucking genius. Builds her own Iron Man suit.
They haven't, they've done it pseudo, sort of kind of way with Black Panther. But as far as like delving like the inner cities, if Riri comes from a background like that, that would be, that'd be something I would think like John Singleton would probably, I mean, he's not here anymore, but like a director of that caliber,
yes.
would
what's the guy's name? Rick Famuyiwa. He would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
who did Dope?
Yeah.
That dude really knows black kids. Like, he's really good at telling that story. Yeah.
He gets how people talk.
He does. They have very normal dialogue. Yeah, I can see that because he was willing to do a comic movie because he was supposed to do The Flash, and they fucked him over on that. So
come on over to Marvel.
You think they wouldn't call him? I don't see why they wouldn't. I would.
Rick for me.
Like, fuck them bitches. Let's do this. You want to make $1 billion? Cool. Speaking of making $1 billion, Kevin Feige says Spider-Man/Venom crossover movie is likely, but it is up to Sony.
Quote the Sony exec. Please.
Man.
We need you. We need you, Spider-Man. You're our only hope. Yeah, look, if Marvel's doing it, I'll trust it. If it's Sony doing it, I don't trust it. That's it. I don't have anything else to say about the story.
What do you think about the idea of that? Because like Tom Holland has come out and said that he would love to do an Into the Spider-Verse with Maguire and
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Like, would that be something that you would want to see?
It depends, and here's why. I want it. The only way I would want it is if one.
Oh shit, Mike getting in his fucking Spider-Man bag. He's like, let me set up.
Those two have to be, they can't just be Peter Parker, right? Because the whole thing with Spider-Verse is that you have so many different spiders, so many different people being so many different spiders that the world knows those two as Peter Parker. So they would have to be some sort of offshoot of Peter Parker. Like, Tobey Maguire would have to be like Spider-Man Reign Peter Parker, right? Where he married MJ and they had a family, but she fucking died, right? And now he's all bitter, and maybe they can.
And it makes sense because he's older.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Andrew Garfield, he's kind of difficult because he's not really like older, but he's not quite as young.
He would be the Peter Parker that would have the money of Tony Stark. He would be that one.
Yeah. He would be the Peter Parker that runs Parker Industries. Yep. He would have to be that one.
Oh, I like that because I think he could pull that off.
Yeah, with the Mark IV suit with the glowing spider in it and all that stuff. Yeah, he would have to be that. But those Peter Parkers would have to be vastly different. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way I can see that work.
And the thing is, we don't know what. But the thing is, you don't know what happened in those universes once we stop watching those movies, right? So it could have continued that Maguire married MJ, and everything like went to shit. Like, that makes sense. Grizzle, he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow, a little bit of pot belly. Like shit didn't work out so well for him. And then you don't know what happens with Andrew Garfield.
No. Andrew Garfield, he comes back as Superior Spider-Man, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Right.
Well, like that.
Yeah. He comes back in the red and black with the fucking big bug eyes and shit, and is acting just wilding out, right? Like,
this is way different.
Why you being a dick, yo? Like, because the audience, like, nobody else knows that, but the audience is like, yo, why you being a dick, yo? But see, the only problem is I don't know how you tell that.
You don't. That is for us. That part is for us as to, like, look, you can tell that story very lightly, like something happened to him, but we're not quite sure. You tell it super light touch. That is for us. That is for comic fans who know that story.
And in one of those, there's like 2 Spider-Verses, and they go around and they talk about how, what's it like in your dimension and what's it like in your dimension. Like, maybe you can get some backstory for some of the big, like, heavy hitters, but yeah, man. Look, they have to be very different.
With the way that you just mentioned, I would think they would drop like little innuendos of like, I've always been partial to 8 legs.
Yeah, like just light touch stuff. But here's the thing.
Like, what?
You put him in that costume.
That costume's so bad.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good. But you put him in that costume. That tells, like, hardcore fans, that tells them everything they need to know. And be like, nigga, don't even say anything. I can't even think about this.
Right.
Just that, and just give them, like, just a fucking, like, just an air of arrogance. Just enough where you just be like, that's fucking Octavius.
He could be arrogant. Just a different type of dick.
Yeah.
Right. Like just a different type. Right. And yeah, like that's the only way I will accept those two. You can't just come in and swing and just like, hey, I'm Peter Parker and I'm Peter Parker and I'm Peter Parker too. Like, all right.
Yeah. That doesn't have the level of gravitas.
I think as far as Garfield coming in as an executive of Parker Industries and being,
I do like that though.
That is mixed with that with Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That would make, just say he would come in he would be Tony Stark, just the evil version of him. He'd be like the more competent Hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, he would be there. His suit itself would probably be nanotech or something special like that or whatever. And he'd be like, all right, let me handle this. Step back.
Yeah.
Step back for one.
Look, if they did, there's a part of me, I don't, because I don't know, and I don't want to fucking speculate and all this other stuff. There's a part of me that would love if that was a secret they kept for Far From Home. And that's what this fucking movie actually is. I think people would lose their fucking minds. I do. I think they would lose their minds. But I cannot imagine them being able to keep that secret. Like, I can't imagine, dude.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. Like, you can't do pre-screenings for that. Like, you can't. People would lose their fucking minds. You can't shoot
it. Like, somebody on the set would leak.
Like, yo, what the fuck is Andrew Garfield here? Oh, I just like these movies. I just want to see what they're doing. Like, you're lying. You're lying. Yeah, you'd have to sneak them in an underground bunker to get them on screen. So, yeah, there's part of me that would love to see that, though. And by part of me, all of me. Which is Jared Kushner's favorite song. Everyone knows that. So we'll see. As long as Marvel is handling this crossover, that's fine. We'll see.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it's not fine. It not
doesn't.
Fine.
I don't want it. I don't want any of it because it's not going to be right.
Well, they should have never done it.
Right. So there's no crossover when it was done out of order. His name shouldn't be Venom.
Oh, he gave himself that name.
Yeah, based on what?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Sounds cool, I guess.
Yeah, no,
I have no concept of what this is.
Yeah, no, he
gave himself. Just name yourself Snaggletooth. Like, who the fuck knows?
Well, and the other guy named himself Riot, which is interesting. Why did he like? Yeah, I really like Twisted Sister.
I'm not watching that movie. Yeah.
No, don't. It's
you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
I fell asleep on the climactic battle.
It's so bad.
Yeah, come on.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I am curious to see what Carnage looks like at the end of it, though.
No, you don't see.
You don't see it.
You don't see. Or no, not you see Carnage. You see. I'm curious to see what Woody Harrelson looks like.
I can show you that. It's not good. It's not good at all. He's got a terrible wig. Like, he looks ridiculous. Next up, Keanu Reeves being considered for some role in the MCU. According to Kevin Feige, they call Keanu Reeves all the time about roles in the MCU. He says, we talk to him for almost every film we make. I don't know when, if, or ever he'll join the MCU, but we very much want to figure that out the right way. Right, exactly. You saw it. It looks terrible. He looks insane. Micah just saw Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Or as Cletus Cassidy.
Oh, shit, dude. Oh, my God. Yeah. Look at that.
He's Sony.
Yeah, they thought that looked good. They were like, he's nailing it. So Kevin Feige says they talk to him all the time. Apparently, they did the same with this as they did with Jake Gyllenhaal. They just basically were like,
how about this?
How about this? And he was like, how about this? How about this? How about this? And he was like, okay, this works. All right, so let's speculate. Keanu Reeves in the MCU. Who could you see?
Moon Knight, but
I've heard that. Yeah.
Can I hurt some people's feelings? I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead. I don't want him in it because he's not that great of an actor. Think about it.
Actually, I agree with you.
Think about it. And what I'm about to tell you hurts me to my core because it sounds like I'm making fun of one guy. It sounds like I'm making fun of two people, but I'm making fun of Keanu Reeves, okay? Keanu Reeves is just Nick Cage on Ludes.
What?
He's Nick Cage on Quaaludes, yo. That's it. Remember that scene? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What does that sound like? FBI agent.
I mean, it's not that different.
It's not.
Here's the thing. I don't think Keanu Reeves is that amazing of an actor. I think Keanu Reeves is a great presence in movies. I think he can be, when you put him in a role that allows him to be the best version of himself, like, I think he can turn it on, right? But I wouldn't put him in a heavy dialogue role.
No.
Here's my suggestion. Silver Surfer. Doesn't have to talk a lot. You can use his facial likeness, CGI the rest of him. He shows up, he's a fucking badass. Right? That's one. The other one that is a little bit more dialogue heavy, but I think he could do it because I think he could kind of pull off the mentor thing, is Richard Rider as a mentor to Sam Alexander in a Sam Alexander focused movie. He's an older Nova. He's a badass. People like him. He shows up. He kicks ass. He shows the kid how to use a suit and all this other shit, or use the helmet and all this other shit. And then, like, he shows up every once in a while, and and he does stuff, but he's not a main focus. I don't need him to be like the main focus of a trilogy of movies. I just don't.
No.
And I like Keanu Reeves, but I don't think he's that amazing of an actor.
Now, what if they went a certain way with Adam Warlock, where he came out a blank slate, and they had to?
I like how you just described Keanu Reeves as just a blank slate.
I mean, anyway,
Jack's gonna fuck you up.
I mean, but see, no. Honestly, Keanu is just as method as Christian Bale when it comes to certain things. Now, have you seen him training?
Yes,
for
sure.
as far as the weapons handling shit.
Yeah,
he's always been like that. I'll give him that.
As far as the martial arts thing with the Matrix and all that stuff, like, okay,
yes,
he has a certain type of passion, dedication, and work ethic that translates well on the screen.
100%.
Okay, so if you give him something that is more physical to do, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to pull it off. But then yet, after seeing John Wick 3, he was kind of old.
Yeah, he was.
His knees were giving out. Oh shit! He was kind of.
Yeah, he literally was like, "Okay, guys, wait a minute, let me catch my breath."
So yeah, I mean, but that's why I think maybe something where he CGI'd might work better.
But people want to see Keanu Reeves. They don't want to hear Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could give Silver Surfer his likeness. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, and like, right now, he's like the perfect. He's like Jesus to people for some reason right now.
Yeah, right. So, the only person I will accept criticism from, that I will entertain criticism from, is Jack, because he's always been a Keanu Reeves fan. Not
the Glomons.
Yeah. But no, I think people want to see Keanu Reeves. And I think people associate him. They associate him with two roles. They associate him with John Wick, and they associate him with Ted Theodore Logan, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yes, that's correct.
And
Neo?
Not as much anymore.
I don't think anymore. But when I say John Wick, I mean like all the badass roles that he's had encompassed into John Wick is what I see. Mm-hmm. Like The Matrix was such a product of its time that I can't go back and watch that movie that's the same way, either before or after. I don't know what it is, but it fits right there at the cusp of the end of the 90s, which led to the trash that was the 2000s. At least for me.
Trash 2000s.
Daredevil. MI2.
How dare you?
What else? What other trash movies came out?
X2 was not trash.
No, X2 was not trash.
But 2006, X3
was trash. Still better than the new one.
You make some.
No, early 2000s was a sketchy time, my man.
I'm not sure if I'm liking anything that I think about 2000s like that.
Swordfish.
Okay. Scary movie.
Swordfish.
That's what I'm saying.
That aged poorly.
Yeah,
I liked that movie when I saw it.
Halle Berry's
Traffic.
No, Traffic was a good movie.
The Cell.
Okay.
All right then.
I'll give you The Cell. Next up, Marvel Studios returning to Hall H.
Hollow Man.
That movie didn't age well either.
Look, I like Hollow Man.
It didn't age well, dude.
But it's not good. Like I like that trash ass movie, but it ain't good.
He turned invisible and got superpowers.
right. Turned invisible, became a rapist, and got superpowers and shit. All right,
they lit you on fire, my nigga. Like, that's a rap.
Bedazzled, Little Nicky, Charlie's Angels, Coyote Ugly, Reindeer Games. Yo, come on, yo. Come on, man.
That's all 2000?
That's all in the 2000. That's all 2000.
Wow, yeah, Reindeer Games. Wasn't his name like Rudolph? It was Rudy.
It was Rudy, yeah.
Oh, fuck right off. Fuck right off. All right, next up. Marvel Studios returns to Hall H for San Diego Comic-Con 2019. They took off last year, so they're going to come back this year, tell you a couple of things, and definitely not share with you the slate for Phase 4.
I hope not.
No, they're definitely not.
No, they're not going to do that.
But my guess is they're going to maybe give a little bit of information about the shows that are coming to Disney Plus. And they may tease a couple of things, but no, they're going to save that. They're going to save that Phase 4 rundown for D23 is my guess.
Micah,
yes.
Something I've always wanted to ask you, because I don't think it's been asked on this show or any other place. Would you be okay with Doctor Doom being introduced somehow, some way through some sort of story with Scarlet Witch? Since
you're thinking about,
I'm just thinking about as far as like her.
What was that book they were in? Children's something? I can't remember.
No, neither can I. But I mean, I'm just thinking about how, if he's like, all about the sorcerer. I mean, she's somewhat of a. Can we even call her abilities chaos magic? Because that's in the comics, but
I mean, we can
in this MCU.
You're allowed.
Yeah, we can. Like, they don't really her powers are very indeterminate.
Uh-huh.
They're not really. No one really knows what they are. So, if you want to define her more, then yeah, you could.
Because it's always been.
I think we would have to see.
I don't know what they're planning on doing with this WandaVision TV show on Disney Plus, but in my mind, and I have not discussed this with anybody else, but in my mind, I would think if she's compelled to find a way to bring Vision back, she would go on some sort of pilgrimage to find some way, or someone to teach her something that she hasn't been able to learn on her own. And if there are reports of some sort of, Latvian, king or whatever who dabbles in the mystic arts, and Doctor Strange doesn't want to
dabbles. Sir.
Hey, sir.
How dare you?
I'm saying because Doctor Strange isn't available.
Got all offended.
He's not available, or he won't teach her because he feels like she might be a little bit too erratic.
Yeah,
or he might see the chaos within her and see that she's dangerous, and then he kind of turns her away, which is going to be a lesson that's going to come to bite him in the ass later on. But then she goes and she finds Doctor Doom.
They were in some sort of pseudo relationship in some comic book arc that I can't remember the name of, and people let me know what it is. It's like Children's Crusade or something like that.
Children's Crusade is an arc. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
I think it is. The two of them have interacted before, and I don't have a problem with that. You can introduce him any way you want to. You can introduce him through an origin. We were talking about introducing him in the next Black Panther, because one day Dr. Doom was like, "Yo, I want that vibranium, so I'm just gonna invade your country. Because what the fuck you gonna do about it?"
Right.
And you can introduce him in any number of ways. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I would want it to be something bigger than WandaVision.
You want him in the theater.
Well, you hear rumblings. If he's like the big bad, if he's like the real big bad that's coming soon, seeds.
And here's the thing, people keep saying, maybe he can be a big bad. I don't think I necessarily need him to be. Well, I don't want him to start off as a big bad. I want him to be like how he is with the Fantastic Four. He's like the unofficial member. He's like the unofficial fifth one, and I want him to be on that level, right? But I want him to ascend to something that's like, whoa, like we always knew
we didn't see this guy coming.
Right. We always knew this guy was a bit of a problem, but we didn't know he was that big of a problem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whereas, Thanos, that guy's a fucking problem.
Yeah, right? There's no question when he shows up.
Right. But I want people to underestimate this guy. It's like, yeah, we see you, but we're heroes. We put your ass in check from time to time. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, we didn't pay attention.
This nigga got 2 Infinity Gauntlets.
Right. You're essentially describing.
This nigga's a god emperor.
You're essentially describing trench coat mafia type situation where we see that you are somebody who has issues, but you are to be waved off at this point, and then they come back to shoot everybody.
Right.
Until they're not.
Yeah.
Right. Until they're not. Exactly. So.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, I talked about my idea for the 2 arcs, but I think if you had Doom kind of there throughout that, like kind of going, that could work really well.
But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with them mentioning him in WandaVision, but when I first see him, I mean, I really want to see him on screen first. You know what I mean? Like the big screen first. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like, bias is acknowledged. I feel like that character is someone who is, quite frankly, above WandaVision. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Then he would have to be in the mask because it would be like basically post-Scar.
Oh, 100%.
I was thinking like if you're going to introduce Doom and on the big screen, everything that he's already experienced with the Fantastic Four has already happened.
Yeah,
and he's just deciding to let himself age. But yet when they pop the fuck back up, then that's when he would do his magic, become young again, and be like, hey, I got my people back.
Like you could
fuck with them for a while.
Like you can introduce him. Like one of my favorite stories is a Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom story, which is fucking weird, but it's called Triumph and Torment, and they're essentially at this wizard tournament to find out who is
a bunch of fucking dorks
who can be the Sorcerer Supreme, right? And Dr. Doom is there because he's like, yo, I'm a sorcerer. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get out of here. You should get that bullshit technology out of here. So he takes off his fucking gauntlets and is like, all right, bitch, look, these are my hands, right? I'm using real magic. Like, I learned it. I read it in a book and I learned it because I'm that smart, right? And I think he damn near wins the thing. But essentially it's him and Doctor Strange going into hell to fight the devil for his mother's soul. Like it's
a wild character.
It is, man, but it's really good, and I would love to see something like that introduced. Now that we have a Doctor Strange, like let's make use of that dummy, and help him usher in a real sorcerer.
That dummy. He's just a fucking luge to get Dr. Doom into the world. Allow me to read. This is just how the article was titled. I didn't do this. Fuckboy Max Landis is accused of completely unsurprising behavior. I may have written that. That's what they wrote on Vulture. Product of nepotism and mediocre writer Max Landis. Bright is a fucking shitty movie. Popular Hollywood writer? That's interesting. Okay. Has been accused by 8 women of varying degrees of sexual and emotional abuse. In an intensive new report published by the Daily Beast, the women, most of whom had romantic relationships with Landis, gross, described him as everything from serial rapist, gaslighter, body shamer, to a physical and psychological abuser. Many of the women also claim that Landis, the son of the director John Landis, which is the only reason why he's a name that you know, isolated them from their friends and family so they would become emotionally dependent on him. Oh, lovely. He sees something shiny and he wants it. He's like, I have to have it. He would systematically try to have sex with all the women I knew were not people to him. Abuse is slippery. Max did somewhat announce that he was abusive. That's weird. That was what was so disarming about his particular brand of manipulation. So, look, I'm not shocked by this. Max Landis seems like the biggest fucking scumbag I've ever seen. Every interview and shit that I've ever seen him in, he screams creep to me. Good. Get him the fuck out of here. Apparently, some other article I saw, he would, like, pantomime hitting his girlfriend. Like hold his hand up, and then they would like cow, and he'd be like, I'm just fucking around. Like, he would do shit like that to them. Tell them like they need to lose weight and all this other shit. And like, I'm like, you skinny prick, you don't look like you bench 135. Fuck out of here. Like, get out of my face. So, yeah, they're getting him the fuck out of here, which they should do. So, good. So now you're not involved in Bright.
Yeah, Max Landis has always been
creep
trash.
Creep.
I just, and I've never understood. Like, look, I've never seen Chronicle. Everybody says Chronicle is really, really good.
It's not really. It's good.
It's decent.
Yeah, it's good.
But it was the first of its sort of kind. It was Watchmen before it was Watchmen.
Yeah.
I mean, I just.
Well, I don't. It was an American version of Akira, basically. They was trying. Yeah.
I never got this guy, man. I never got him. I don't know why his name is a thing, other than the fact that, you know,
he's John Landis' son.
Right.
That's literally the only reason.
Which is, I mean,
his ears are the size of his head.
Like,
yeah, dude, looks like a fucking monkey.
Like how, like that apple, like fell far. That apple fell, fucking rolled down the street, fell in the gutter, got swept up in the sewage, and got shot out in the bay. Like, that's how far that apple is from that tree, man.
Yeah, John Landis is like,
I just
keep your ass right over there. Yeah, he's just not a good dude, man. Like, he's the one who pushed that whole idea that Rey in Star Wars was a Mary Sue. I'm like,
oh wow.
And like, I saw it, like, he was one of the first people I saw say that, and then like fucking clockwork, everyone's like, Max Landis said it, I believe it too. Like, they just ran with that shit. It doesn't make any sense in that universe. Doesn't matter if it makes sense, because their fucking nerd dork king said it. So no, I'm glad they got this guy the fuck out of here, and not just because he said that, just because he's a fucking abusive prick. If that's the type of guy you want to be, cool, go sit your ass in the corner alone. And this is what happens when you don't raise your kids to be good people. It's just a fact. Like, he's just probably allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants, and then he grew up to be a prick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I hope somebody punches you in the face. Like, a lot. If you pay me enough, I'll do it. Or for free. You know?
Just absolve me of all criminal.
Yeah, no, I'm an equal opportunist. I'll knock his fucking teeth out. Allegedly. Next up, last story. Warner Media is in final negotiations to win a partnership with Star Wars director J.J. Abrams for his production company Bad Robot for $500 million, yet they didn't have $37 to finish Swamp Thing. It's fucked up.
That's where all the money was going to.
Yeah, they were like, yo, J.J. Abrams is about to make us bank. I mean, that's fair. Like, J.J. Abrams brings in big money for his movies. But is Bad Robot worth $500 million?
I would think so. If not a little bit more, because it's got the Mission Impossible series.
Yeah, now it does. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a big producer on that.
Yeah, I mean, that was since...
Well, I guess...
3.
I don't know that they... Well, that's not their production. I think they co-produced that. So with I guess that's Warner, probably, right? So, but I don't know that they. I don't think they outright own the rights to that.
Oh, well, they might not own the rights, but as far as being associated with them, as far as properties under their banner,
yeah, well,
that.
Yeah, I mean,
They had Star Trek for a while. I don't know what's going on with
Productions:
that.
Joyride, Cloverfield, Star Trek, Morning Glory, Super 8, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Star Trek Into Darkness, Infinitely Polar Bear, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Star Trek Beyond, Cloverfield Paradox, Mission Impossible Fallout, Overlord, Star Wars: Rise of the Skywalker. And that's just film. There's a bunch of other TV shows.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, he had that one not so successful
Including
Spy
Westworld.
Are they involved in that?
Yes.
Okay, I guess it is worth $500 million. All right. Well, there's your Swamp Thing. Season 2. Sorry. So, J.J. Abrams about to get big money. That being said, this is yet another story that about... I mean, this isn't exactly an acquisition, but it kind of is. It's very exclusive. It's not like they're going to be working with someone probably much outside of Warner. But this is the bias I talk about when I talk about news. Nobody gives a fuck about this. Oh, Disney bought Fox and they're just getting bigger. Oh, look at the shit that Bad Robot owns.
Yeah.
Now Warner Brothers owns all this, right? Nobody says anything. By the way, Warner Brothers is the bigger of the companies. They're bigger than Disney, and they keep acquiring shit. But they acquire it slowly, so people go, it's fine. So, there you go. All right, What the Fuck brought to you by JTD. Micah, take it away.
A polygamist who was secretly married to 3 women managed to keep them from finding out about each other despite arranging for them to live within within a 1 kilometer radius for his own convenience.
For his convenience. You're a wild dude, man.
You didn't open up that story, did you? Did you open up the story?
Yours?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good. You pay attention as opposed to Cam. I don't even know if he did last time.
I don't think he did.
I just wanted to fuck with Cam because you're on my shit list now. The 36-year-old man is facing up to 2 years in prison for polygamy after he exploited a loophole in the system to legally marry 3 different women in a period of 3 years. He worked as a real estate agent and made lots of money thanks to the country's booming property market. So providing for 3 different families was no problem, but he admitted that he is really dumb being married to 3 women. Stupid idiot.
Yeah, what are you doing, dude?
Enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
I see women running out to marry 3 dudes. They're a little smarter than us. Oh, what if we had 3? No.
Where do you think this took place?
South London.
Yeah, I'm going to go UK.
You're way off. China.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, like what's
Chinese? That's the Japanese. Like Japanese don't get married. Chinese don't get married. Let alone 3.
right? So 3 different people.
So wait, so this is in China?
Yeah, this is in China.
So he married 3 women, didn't have sex with any of them. So is that what we're talking? Yeah, okay, that's fucking bizarre.
This guy's name is Zhang, and he made sure to buy the 3 women apartments within 1 kilometer or kilometer, however you want to pronounce it, for his own convenience. Zhang, who hails from the Henan province, reportedly married his first wife, Ren, in 2015. A year later, he married his second wife, Chen. I swear I'm not making these names up.
Ren Chen.
And in his home province, in 2017, he tied a knot with a 3rd woman, surname Wang. So Ren Chen and Wang. Ren Chen Wang.
Yeah, my man change it up a little bit.
According to the report by some broadcast corporation, Zhang had at least 1 child with each of the 3 women and tried to spend as much time with each of these families. To make it easier for himself, he moved them closer to be as close to each one as possible. Then he found out that being a rolling stone is not quite what it's wrapped up to be.
Yeah, somebody didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say somebody didn't wrap up something. What you doing, dude?
So he was accused of practicing polygamy and is now awaiting sentence. Even though his first wife left him, the man still hopes to patch things up. to at least one of his other wives. After I get out, I will see who can forgive me, and I'll be with her.
Yo, wow, dude. That's crazy. I'll take whoever wants to deal with my shit.
Look, I'm very happily married, but being married is trying sometimes, and I can't imagine being married to 3 people. But you do you, I guess.
How much emotional bandwidth can one have for that? Lord knows, boy. Anyways.
Like, do you call out? Like, what happens if you say Chen's name in front of Ren? Because they sound alike, man.
Yeah, now go ahead and dig your grave on this.
I'm asking a question and then backing away.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. Like, all right, Demetrius, your story.
Man gets slapped 52 times by furious girlfriend for not buying her a new phone.
Baltimore.
Yeah. Florida. You know, I need more details. Actually.
Yeah, I need more details. I'm just trying to be
funny. A man has been labeled a victim of abuse after being slapped in public by a whopping 52 times by his girlfriend, who was apparently upset that he hadn't bought her the new smartphone for this Valentine's Day. While most couples celebrated May 20th, one of this country's 3 yearly lovers' days,
in America,
in a romantic way, one pair in this area, without giving it away, decided to cause a shocking scene instead. Videos captured by nearby surveillance cameras as well as passersby and later shared on social media showed a young woman slapping her boyfriend in the street while viciously scolding him for allegedly failing to buy her the new smartphone as a gift. Although the footage doesn't show all of the slaps, police later confirmed that the man endured no less than 52 of them under the shocked gazes of strangers gathered to witness his humiliation. What really surprised many of the millions of people who watched the disturbing video during the rounds online was the man's calm attitude as he got slapped hard by his girlfriend.
That's an Asian man.
He barely flinches, let alone tries to restrain her and retaliate in any kind of way.
That's an Asian man. That's a Chinese man because they like because he's getting like I'm sorry,
Japan,
like ain't nobody getting beat up like that.
China, they come into blows. Japan, very zen.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, because they don't really
Okinawa somewhere.
They don't really know how to interact with women. You might be right.
All right, where are we going?
It's China.
No!
It's the Sichuan province of China,
which makes the best chicken.
Shut up, yeah.
Go on. It's too easy.
Alerted by the large cloud and slowly gathered around the couple, police arrived on the scene and tried to calm things down. They later confirmed that the man indeed been slapped a total of 52 times, a bizarre way to celebrate 5/20, which is the Chinese Valentine's Day, May 20th. Mm-hmm. And added that even after public humiliation, the victim actually tried to protect his abusive girlfriend.
There you go.
Yeah, fuck all that. All of that. Put your hands on me.
Okay.
Don't hit me, yo.
No, don't do that.
Don't hit people.
Okay, here's my story. God damn it. Girl with constipation finds out she has 100 bubble tea balls stuck in her stomach.
Bubble tea.
Ugh.
Wow. A teenage girl had more than 100 tiny bubble tea balls trapped in her stomach after downing too many cups of her favorite drink. The 14-year-old was dashed to the hospital after suffering constipation and a bad appetite for 5 days. Scans found that the patient, known by the pseudonym Bubble Tea Girl, had failed to digest the tiny dark balls which help form the bubble tea. A doctor who treated the patient said her abdomen was bulging. Her stomach, intestines, and rectum had been saturated with tapioca balls.
That sounds like an sounds like an LA Valley girl.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would see a title for a porn that I would skip over. This girl's intestines and rectum are saturated with tapioca balls. Next.
Teen rectum saturated with tapioca balls.
I'd be like, next. Oh, look, there's another one with a guy fucking his stepmom. That's not weird.
Speaking of tapioca, did y'all see that video this week?
No, I did not, and I don't want to hear about it because I'm already grossed out.
Peanut butter.
No.
It looks like peanut butter.
Nope.
You want me to send it?
No, I don't want you to send it to me. No, not with that devilish ass smile on your face. No, keep that shit. Fuck out of here. The beverage, popular in East Asia, normally contains tea, milk, and dozens of small balls known as pearls or boba. They are extracted. Blah 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 blah. Okay. All right. Where is this girl suffering from a belly full of boba tea?
The Valley in California.
Bubble tea. Where are the big anime conventions? It seems like something that someone would go to. People don't usually just drink bubble tea.
Yeah, it's like
do they?
It's like a cotton macchiato or some shit like that. I don't know.
I'm gonna say
that sounds like some Starbucks shit.
I'm gonna say Boston.
Close, actually.
Oh,
China. Mainland fucking China.
We should have thought about this. Like, wait, he's on a theme. This
So yeah, I've had bubble tea. Like, what kind of weak ass stomach can't digest tapioca balls? What's wrong with you? Your body is weak as fuck. Get stronger. So yeah, there you go. Trailers this week. First one is for Ready or Not. This looks very fun. This is I guess, horror thriller kind of movie. Not really scary as much as just brutal. But this woman getting married and finding out that the family she's marrying into, they're super rich, but they have this thing where they try to kill this woman.
That's like some Armitage shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like The Purge, like in a family.
No, I think you're burying the lead. It's a horror movie about hide and seek. Is what this is.
Yeah, she's trying to survive the night.
Yeah, and she's trying to survive. This psycho family is like, we have to play a game, right? And the game is hide and seek, and you got to stay there. You got to stay hidden until morning, and then everyone else in the family that she just married into is trying to kill her. And
and there are other options for the game. I just noticed in the trailer, she chooses the card and it says hide and seek. I think there are other different games.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, that sounds like a series to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like a lot of fun. It doesn't look like it's going to be like a fucking the next thing in horror, you know what I mean? It just looks like it's fun. A fun little premise.
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
All right. And last but certainly not least, is a full trailer finally for The Boys on Amazon. Look, this looks fucking great. I think they're going to nail it. And I can't wait to just see how offensive this is going to be.
Carl Urban's accent is thick.
It's super thick.
When he was like, what's The Boys? And no, like what's a closed captioning?
I look forward to this. I very, very much look forward to this. It is kind of funny to see that the main guy does not look like Simon Pegg, which is kind of weird. But
yeah, it's very odd seeing as how they specifically drew that main guy to look like Simon Pegg, and Simon Pegg is an actor, and they didn't get Simon Pegg.
But you needed a younger guy, though. Like, that's the thing is when he was
get a guy that looks like Simon Pegg.
Yeah, you could have. But otherwise, I think it looks really good. I'm very interested to see how they do this because The Boys is such a bizarro comic, but it's so non-linear. There's so many different storylines happening where they're clearly just doing kind of them versus the Seven. So I don't know. It should be pretty interesting. It's going to be violent as fuck, which I'm excited about. And I like Carl Urban. Like, I think Carl Urban is great.
Yeah.
He's always good. Any parting words this week, gentlemen, before we get out of here?
Oh, well, I'm going to be at the New Jersey Puerto Rican Day Parade for cosplay. It's going to be a good precursor to BlurredCon, and then San Diego Comic-Con, and then I think I'm doing PowerCon after that. So yeah, that's the He-Man, She-Ra.
No, I know.
one.
It just trips me out because I used to work for a company called PowerCon
Not the same.
in Severn, Maryland.
Okay.
They make switch gear.
Oh,
It's
Which is exactly
very,
the same as what this con is about.
right. It's just a switch gear convention.
The most boring con ever. Holy shit.
but yeah, and yeah, that's all I got for right now as far as cosplay is concerned. That's my geek shit.
All right. Mike, anything before we get out of here?
No.
All right. That's it. And we will see you guys next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.